Hey there, welcome back. So today we will check out interfaces. Now interfaces is a very important topic because interfaces help us to standardize our application. With the help of interfaces, we can apply some rules and regulation in our classes, and these rules and regulation will help us to standardize our application. Moreover, interfaces can also help us to implement the concept of polymorphism. So let's get started and let us check interfaces. For doing so, first of all, we would be adding a very simple class inside the package org.studyeasy. This class will also contain the main method and the name of the class would be hello. So this is cool. Then moving forward, we would be also adding a yet another class. The name of this class would be, for example, 1 plus 5. And the package would be org.studyeasy.phone. Let us click on finish, and in here we would be adding a very simple method. This method will be a public method. This will return a int. The name of the method would be processor. That's it. And we will simply return a int entity, right? So we will return, for example, 835. So 835 is the code of the processor in 1 plus 5. The exact name of the processor is Snapdragon 835. Alright. So we would be like returning this value to our called method. Alright. So inside this method main, let us create an object of 1 plus 5. So I will type in 1 plus 5 phone equals new 1 plus 5. Here we go. And then let us create an int variable, and let's initialize this using the method processor. So I will type in phone dot processor. That's it. And then finally we will print the output. I guess something went wrong. Here we go. Alright, so in next line we will type in sys out and we will print the value of processor. And let us also add in a message. Alright, so this is cool. Let me print the output, and here is the processor. Now this seems to be good enough and the output is also good enough, but there is a issue. Suppose that there are multiple developers developing an application, and there are multiple classes which define these phones, and there might be like multiple methods as well for 1 plus 5 or Samsung Note 8 or for example iPhone 7 or iPhone 8. So there would be like multiple classes which will define different phones, right? And we must understand that whenever we are building a big application, the naming convention, the standardization is very important. And we must apply some kind of rule so that the developer is restricted to follow some naming convention or some convention which will define your method signature. So this method signature needs to be restricted. In here there is no restriction. No restriction on the return type, no restriction on the signature, no restriction on this name of the method. Now imagine a situation that here is the program and we would like to update our program. Now we won't return 835, rather we will return a string in here, and we will return a string like Snapdragon 835. Snapdragon, in short I will type in SD 835. As soon as I make this small change in my class, our application is broken. If I try to run this application, then definitely there would be error and here is a crash, which is not a good thing. Why this is not a good thing? Because there is no restriction on the developer. I can modify the name of the method and I can do anything, and these small changes can have huge impact on your application. Now with interfaces, these kind of issues can be rectified and we can apply rules that a specific method should be there in the class. So let's get started with interfaces and let's implement an interface. Alright, so let us get rid of all of these statements in our main method, and now let us create an interface. So I will highlight this package, right click, navigate to new, and in here we have couple of options, and one of the option is interface. So let us click on it. And in here we have this option, couple of options. The name of the interface would be phone. Alright, so this is cool, and we will click on finish. Now what is an interface? In interface we will only have the declaration and not the definition. So let's add some of the declarations. The declarations would be, first of all, the name of the methods which needs to be implemented when we implement this interface in a class. So little confusing, right? So let us add in the declaration and points would be clear in couple of minutes. The declaration would be like public. The return type should be string. The name of the method would be processor. And that's it, right? Then we will add in a yet another method. This would be again public. Return type would be again string. The name of the method would be like OS. Then let us add a yet another method, public. Return type would be int, and the name of the method would be space in GB. Alright, so now we have these three methods, and whenever we would be implementing this phone interface in any of the class, then implementing these methods will become mandate. So let's navigate to 1+5 class. Let's get rid of this method, and in here let's implement the interface. So the way of using interface is pretty simple. We will make use of a keyword which is implements, and then we will make use of the name of the interface, which is phone in our case. Alright, and in here, as soon as we implement this interface, in here we would be able to see an error, and this error would be the type 1+5 must implement the inherited abstract method phone.processor, right? So this is the issue, and we can fix this issue on hovering upon this error and click on this add unimplemented methods, and here are the methods which are implemented by default. Definitely we would be adding some code in between these pair of parentheses. Alright, so what is the processor in 1+5? Pretty simple. It is, for example, SD835. Then OS is Android. Let us return Android as well. And space in GB, I suppose it's 64 GB. Even I don't remember this. Nevertheless, let's return this. Alright, so this is cool. Now let us create a yet another phone. So I will navigate to new and add in a new phone, which is, for example, iPhone 8 maybe. Alright, now I will also implement the same interface in here. Implements phone. And we will also do the same, and we will hover upon the error and add the unimplemented method. Let us do the same with iPhone 8. Now friends, you might be wondering why there is this annotation override. This annotation override symbolizes that these methods are overridden from this interface phone. So we know that all of these three methods are inside our interface, and these are mandate. Alright, so that is again one more thing. Alright, so let us return the code for processor, which is there inside iPhone 8, which is A11, I suppose. Then OS is iOS. And then space in GB. The base variant is, I suppose, 64 gigs. So 64 GBs. So this is cool. And now there is a exact restriction which is applied on these two classes, iPhone and 1+5. For example, I goof up with the name of this space in GB. Then as soon as I make the change, there is this issue, right? And Eclipse and Java will start complaining, add unimplemented method, and the issue would be type iPhone 8 must implement the inherited abstract method phone.space in GB. So this becomes mandate to implement the exact methods in these classes. So there is a restriction, right? So this is cool. And inside of our main method, we will be doing something special in here as well. So in here, I will type in phone. Phone is what? Phone is the name of our interface. Phone equals new 1+5. So this is good, and using this object phone, can we call in the methods? Let me show. Here we go. For example, processor. So processor will return a string. Let us print it on our console. And let us run this application. And here is the output. Perfect. Now let me add a message in here. Alright, so this looks better now. Alright, so moving forward, in here there is a catch, and I suppose you might have already observed it. In here, the name of the class is 1 plus 5, right? But we are initializing an object of phone type. What is a phone? Phone is an interface which is implemented by our class 1 plus 5. Now, in here, Eclipse is not complaining, Java is not complaining, and our application is working properly. Now, what is the advantage of doing this task in this way? The advantage is pretty simple. The advantage of polymorphism. We can make use of concept of polymorphism if we are creating an object of interface type and we are initializing the object using a class which implements the interface. Pretty simple. So in here we have 1 plus 5, the class which implements phone, and in here the object of phone can contain object of any class which implements phone interface. Pretty simple. Now what is the advantage? In here we are not updating this line of statement, but we can shift or we can switch between the classes very easily. For example, in place of 1 plus 5, maybe I change my phone and I don't want to display the processor of 1 plus 5 anymore, and I shifted from 1 plus 5 to iPhone 8 maybe. Very easily I can type in iPhone 8 and our application will work perfectly. We need not to worry about breaking our code. This is the advantage of making use of interface and standardizing your application. You have two advantages. First of all, there is a restriction applied in your classes and you must implement all the unimplemented methods. So that's one thing. You can standardize these method names. First advantage. Second advantage is you can apply concept of polymorphism. Apart from this, there is one small little point which I would like to share. In here, your method signature is important, not the access specifier. So in your interface, you can skip making use of these access specifier, and even that would be perfectly alright. So you can skip defining the access specifier because that doesn't matter. In fact, you can have any access specifier in your implemented class. So this is all about interfaces, and I hope the explanation was good enough. And I urge you guys to code this program by yourself and make a call to other methods as well, like this. For example, in here, let us call a method phone dot space in GB maybe, and let us add in a message space in GB. This looks better. Let me run this application. And here is our application. So how easily we can shift between classes, we can change the phone, we can do all these stuff using interfaces. And when you check the documentation of Java, there is a heavy usage of interfaces, and making use of interfaces is a recommended thing. So this is all about today's lecture. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I will catch you in the next video.